actor Robin Williams. Police say a toxicology report won't be available for another few days. Medical examiners say Williams died of asphyxia due to hanging. Police also say his left wrist had cuts and a pocket knife was found near his body. Williams was suffering from severe depression. And depression is a disorder that millions of Americans do suffer from, and many don't fully understand. More than 900 people in Tennessee commit suicide each year. Donna Toscas, a social worker with Methodist Lamar and the Living Well Network, joins us today to talk about the signs and where to get help. Of course, this is a hugely important issue, and we were just talking about how, unfortunately, it does sometimes take events like this to bring it back into the public spotlight.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on today, because it is an important topic, and it is something that we need to have a conversation about, not only when something tragic like this happens, but every day, because depression is an illness, just like cancer, diabetes, cardiovascular illness. And depression is an illness as well, and we need to have ongoing conversation about it.
In the last few days since, obviously, Robin Williams' death, have you guys received more phone calls?
We have received more phone calls, and we appreciate that, because it's important that people who suffer from depression understand that there's treatment, there is help, and there is hope. So we encourage everyone to call our Dennis H. Jones Living Well Network, and you can reach us by calling 762-8558. That's area code 901-762-8558.
And let's talk a little bit about what exactly depression is.
Sure. Depression, the difference between depression that we may feel on an average day versus clinical depression is really the duration and the frequency. So if it lasts longer than 2 weeks, or if it's daily for a long period of time each day, then it's really important that somebody seek help. And some of the signs and symptoms are decrease in appetite or increase in appetite. It could be some sleep disturbance. It could be loneliness and isolation. It could be feeling anxious. It could be not able to do things that you typically would have been able to do. Differences in your activities of daily living, not having the motivation to do what you already do. So it's really important when you have some of these signs and symptoms that you reach out for help.
I think a lot of people who might be going through this would feel that that they don't need help. They can handle it on their own. Is that true?
It is true, and it's so important to understand that this is an illness that requires treatment, diagnosis, treatment, care, and support. It is not something that is that we need to blame people for. It is not a low self-esteem. No one's at fault. It's an illness, and just like we wouldn't want to live with cancer over a long period of time without treatment, we don't want to live with depression, because there is hope and there is help.
I know in Robin Williams' case, he was in and out of rehab over the last couple years.
Right.
Is that kind of common if you do suffer from depression?
Certainly there's ways that we behave when we suffer from depression, and addiction and depression go hand in hand. But like anybody's illness journey, they're all different. And what Robin Williams' journey was is not the same for someone else's journey. So it's really important that you get the appropriate care and you stay with a provider that you trust, and you can live happily.
And from an outside perspective, if you have a friend or family member that you're worried about, what can you do?
You can certainly call the Dennis H. Jones Living Well Network and talk to one of us about ways in which you can get the help that that person needs. So I certainly urge anybody to call the Dennis H. Jones Living Well Network, to talk to their clergy person, to reach out to their primary care physician. But it's important, the message here is talk about it. We need to talk about it, and we need to get care.
This needs to not be taboo. It needs to be open discussion.
That's right.
Thank you so much for being with us today. Lots of really valuable information. Of course, depression is a very serious issue for many people, but like you said, there is tons of help available. The Living Well Network has information and links to many different agencies. The number there is on your screen for the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. That is 1-800-273-8255. Counselors are available to talk 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Very important issue here. Click the green Find It button at localmemphis.com for a link to Lifeline's website. Thank you so much for being with us today. And again,